the Giants, man. Let's talk a little bit about the Giants. They got waxed again by the Dolphins. You know, as much of a Giants fan as you guys really are, deep in your heart, you knew they weren't going to beat the Dolphins. Dolphins is putting up fucking insane numbers. Their defense ain't that great, but their offense, if you can't score with them, you're getting the doors blown off, right?
Hell yeah.
Facts.
Q, I'm gonna go to you first today. What was your assessment on the New York Giants versus the Dolphins last week and moving forward? What's your assessment on the whole thing, man?
That was exactly when I was talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we saw a little bit of good in the defense, but then we still continue to see the bad and the ugly with the defense and the offense. This shit is annoying, man. Like I'm tired of this false hope shit, man. Like it was a close game when Pinnock gets that 102-yard touchdown.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? But then they come back and then they're allowing a 60-yard touchdown from Tyreek Hill. They're allowing a 70-yard touchdown from Arcane. You know what I mean? Like it's like I feel like they don't even know what they're doing. Now, granted, we know they're injured as fuck. Their O-line, obviously, is destroyed because it's changing every week. You know what I mean? We don't have Schmidt. We still don't have Thomas. The left tackle's like changing every other week. And
that's a key position, That's a key position. Left tackle.
And that's probably the reason why Daniel Jones is probably not going to play this week, which I don't think he should play this week because the neck injury, although he's a tough son of a bitch, bro, how much more of a beating is this man going to take? It's only going to get worse this week. We're going against the Bills, and we're definitely going to lose against the Bills. We might as well just put him in the game. You know what I mean? I think we play the Commanders right after the Bills, and then the Raiders. I think let him sit out this week. Fuck it, we're going to lose anyway because even if he starts, what's the big fucking deal? I think he needs to heal up. That's my opinion, but I'm not seeing too much good anyway. Like this Giants team, it's like we could talk about all the stats because I know you guys are gonna go into it just as well as I know it, but we can't do nothing in the first quarter. We're still being outscored. What in the first half of games or even first quarter of games, we're being outscored. I think 77-9 right now.
No touchdowns.
No touchdowns.
I
think it's like a field goal or two or some shit like that, right? Yeah. That's
it's like I think it's 3 field goals, man. It's like it's that's so embarrassing, man. And to think about it, a couple of the teams that we played, they can score, but they ain't like super monstrous scores. How did the Cowboys scored 40 on us? We only allowed 31 from the Dolphins. Dolphins, I'm surprised the Dolphins didn't bring it up to I thought the Dolphins were gonna score like 55 or some crazy shit. You know what I mean? But
it looked like it. They was playing like it. They was playing like they could have ripped off 50.
I think it's time to tap out. I don't know. But it's time for them to tap out. What are they going to do this season? The Commanders have a better team than us. There's no way that the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Commanders are going to go along, and then we're going to somehow sneak into the wild card spot. Man, fucking, we're going to have to just hope for either a top 5 draft pick and see what we can get out of it and just keep it moving, man.
Word.
Ed, before I get to you, I agree with that. By the way, Q, 100% that assessment is spot on.
Yes, sir.
I want to play this clip. This Daniel Jones on the Kay Adams interview by Kay Adams on the Up and Adams podcast about 2 days ago, and he's talking about his injury and potentially playing this Sunday. I want you guys to listen to it, and I want you to tell me what you think about it.
In terms of quarterbacking from someone who's never been a quarterback, what is the hardest part about making it through this injury and being able to play?
I think the biggest thing is just dealing with the contact. I think, getting hit in a certain way exposes you. And I think that's the biggest thing. So it's not necessarily, what would prevent me from doing anything, throwing or doing what I need to do, but just, taking a similar hit could affect it.
Yo.
In terms of quarterbacking from someone who's never been a quarterback.
Playing again, my bad. Yo, check this out, right? And you guys want to, I wouldn't play him on Sunday, but here's the only stat you got to know before I go to you, Ed. Listen, here's the only stat you really need to know. Daniel Jones, right? 100 pressures and 18 sacks in the last 2 games. That's insane, dog.
Hell yeah, man.
Offensive line, you got to do better than that. I know you're banged up, but you got to do better than that, man. He's been sacked 28 times this year, 30 sacks total, 28 for him, two 2 for Tyrod, I believe. 30 times. He's on pace to be for the most QB hits in a regular season.
Ever, bro.
Worst offensive line, worst pass protection in the NFL. I haven't looked up the run block, but I'm sure it's not great. I was thinking like we've been so bad. I was saying to myself, you know what? Fuck it. We're 1-4. Let's start tanking for Caleb Williams. You know what I'm saying? Go get Caleb Williams. I might be off the Danny Jones train, right? But then I'm like, yo, get Caleb Williams for what? So he could fucking take snaps behind the offensive line. It's gonna get him fucked up too. Stun his development, kind of like Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? A couple years ago when he had the shitty line with the Jets and that stunted his growth. Hey, what's your assessment on the Giants this year? And moving forward, what do you think is gonna happen, man?
Well, like you said about Q, both of you guys spot on. I agree with you guys 100%. I think I'm also off the Daniel Jones train right now for this year because I won't say it's his fault 100% because there's a lot of things that comes to football when a team game. But this weekend it just showed, like you guys say, yo, give it up, throw the towel in, stick a fork in them because they've done. They attempted 19 sacks attempts on Daniel Jones and got sacked 6 times. By halftime, they had 300 plus yards in the air and on the ground. And they finished the game with 524 yards, total yards against the Giants. To the Giants, 268 yards. Like, that is terrible. That, and that's just terrible. They allowed what? They allowed Tua for 300 and something yards. The other running back, Akane, he had 151, I think, something like that. Tyreek Hill had 181. Had 181 yards, of receiving. Like, they couldn't stop nobody again. It's like I was watching Pop Warner football. Like, they were just playing terrible. And I hate talking about the Giants, negatively, because I love them. I know y'all love them too. But the truth is there. The truth is in the pudding. Like, they just can't play good football right now. Like, we were on a high last year, coach of the year, new system, blah, blah, blah. We get a couple of key pieces. We think, like you said, Cash earlier, we were high. We were high on the Giants, us three, and they just came out flat-footed. So I agree. I think throwing the towel, get this, maybe we could get a top 5, top 3 draft pick and just move forward. You know what I mean? And I'm also scared. I agree with y'all. They shouldn't play Daniel Jones, but I'm also scared that they play Tyrod because I like Tyrod, but he's injury prone too. You know what I mean? He's injury prone too, and he's a much smaller guy. He played pretty well, coming in, but what is he really going to do for us? Like, he's just going to be another crash test dummy for defenses that's going to play the Giants in the next couple of weeks, man. And it's just bad. I just hate to see it.
They're missing tackles like. That's like a huge thing. They're missing a lot of tackles. What I will say about the defense, the couple of bright spots, Thibodeau seems to be coming around. I think he got 4 sacks now. I think he's had like 4 sacks in the last couple of weeks, so he's starting to come on. Right, Pinnock, obviously with that legendary pick 6, that was fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 102 yards.
Darren Waller got more targets this week.
Yes, he did,
but not in the fourth quarter. They went away from him. We had a couple of offensive linemen out. Obviously they're banged up, but like when I'm watching the game last week, right? And I'm looking at the Giants and I'm saying to myself, man, this game, it never felt like we had it. I always felt nervous, but it felt like it's possible we can get it. Then I see not McKinney. What's the rookie, the rookie corner? Not Deontay.
Trey Hawkins.
Trey Hawkins. Trey Hawkins lines up. You remember that shit? Lines up with Tyreek Hill, right, on a cover 0, right, no safety help, cover 0, no safety help, right, and gets smoked for 69 yards. I'm like, yo, how does fucking Wink Martindale put a rookie corner with no safety help on
Cheetah,
probably the greatest fucking wide receiver in the last 10 years, maybe, right? There's a lot of, I don't know about that. Maybe I'm jumping in the window, but one of the greatest. You got Devontae Adams, you got a bunch of different people.
Yeah, he's a weapon. He's a weapon, man. He's
a weapon, man. A-Chain just busting through holes. If you guys watch the game, right? Fuck the stats. I don't even want to look at the fucking stats right now. This is what happened. these niggas is knocking off big chunks of yardage, 25-yard runs, 20-yard passes, yards they have to catch, you know, cutting back, dipping through holes, going all the way to the house. I'm like, yo, like the Giants, this is my assessment. The Giants don't do anything well.
Nope.
Special teams, both sides of the ball, offense or defense. Now, you said you might be off the Danny Jones train, and I feel that way too, because a lot of people don't have good offensive lines, right? And sometimes they make shit work.
Yeah.
But I will say this: he's taking a fucking beating, man.
Yes, man.
He's taking a beating, man. So, what do you expect him to do, man? I don't know. It's not looking good. 1-4. I think we tapped out for the year. In my opinion, Joe Shane, Brian Dable, you're on the clock, my brother. You're officially on the clock. The honeymoon is fucking over, man. You know what I'm saying?
And we definitely have to do something. Like, they need to come up with better schemes of on their third downs. Because if they're going 5 and 17, like they can't just like you that means you had 17 times you had a third down, which obviously we know because it's hard for us just to get a random, you know, it's hard for us just to get a first down between the first two sets of plays. So we going always to third down, and they don't even be like bad third downs, be like 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 5. But like, dude, we can't come up with a play that fucking somehow we can get like quick 5 yards, because that extends the play. And that's what a lot of people need to understand too, because the Giants ball, it was never that long ball. It's that beat you down, run it down your throat, take control of the clock type of football. You know, that's why we were able to beat the Patriots in those 2 Super Bowls, you know, because we were running it down their throat. We were keeping the clock on our side, so that you got to keep the ball away from Tom Brady, and especially against like quarterbacks like Tua. You know what I mean? Any good quarterback, they have enough time to do it, man. They're gonna score whatever they need to do, and they're gonna get down the field.
Right.
But, you know, it's just you know, like, what do you guys think is going to happen with Gray now? Because now Gray took a bunch of snaps. Obviously, he didn't have much success because we got no offensive line. But what do you think? Well, but what do you think this leads to now?
Well, go.
No, you go. My bad.
I was kind of excited, man, that Gray they had Gray giving up some carries, man, because you know we had said, I think we had said the week before or maybe the previous week,